All right, I'm just going to pick up where the stream ended. For some reason, it got interrupted. Probably some bad cellular signal. Anyway, so I was talking about these rebars and having that air travel from the intake on that side. This is the exhaust. And again, we're talking about louvers. So a little recap. Why we stopped doing louvers is because we realized that by putting in louvers, it did not actually improve your retention of hotter air to fight humidity on the intake, and also made it a lot worse for the exhaust. Now, because again, those louvers, if they're placed like this, and even if you fully open the metal like this running along the louver, it didn't really improve anything. Actually was a negative for the exhaust. And then for the intake, it did not improve humidity either, because if you place your miners correctly and you put a little spacing between each miner to allow some of the hot air to come back in and bring down the humidity on the intake of the miner, that is sufficient. You do not need to have louvers on the intake. So that's what we did. That explains why we ended up doing something like this, right? And not putting louvers here. You guys go to the YouTube channel, and we're actually YouTube and various other social media sites where we upload our videos. You can see our other farm there, the 1.75 megawatt farm, where we do have louvers, and that's our old farm. So we're not doing that for this newer farm. This is a new, more updated version of the mining farm. And this one is actually going to be more efficient. It's going to be more efficient, saving on materials, and we do not have to play around with louvers. We just have this fully open, right? Now, again, we're going to have a filter system 4 feet from there, running along the whole entire container, right? Running along the whole entire container, 4-foot filter. And that filter is also going to act as a way to slow down the airflow. Now, the airflow has to travel through the filter. So if there's any like water droplets in the air, let's say it's raining, some of that wind, air, wind, all that stuff mixed with rain will hit the filter. And we want that to happen. We want it to hit the filter and get stuck on the filter or slide down the filter and not actually go into the container. So the filtration system, not only does it filter against bugs and dust, stuff like that, it actually filters against rain and things like that. So yeah, so that's what that's for. Now, again, exhaust, no louvers. We'll go over here to this side. All right, and then on that side over there, see that side over there, we're actually going to have a desk there. That's where our PC is going to be. So any repair technician that comes in here and needs to repair some miners, he can actually stand right there, work on the PC, take a look at the miner, whatever it is, because you need to log into the IP address of the miner, and then you can see whatever hash board is having an issue or PSU is having an issue. So we have that placed over there. So that have this exhaust right here on this side to help blow the hot air out, because some of those miners are going to be placed around this area right here. So I want to make sure that they have plenty of room to escape, from there. All right, now you guys can throw in some questions if you guys have any. Again, this is a mining farm we have available. It's available right now, 2.2 megawatt farm, ready to go. So if you wanted to host with us, you go to Crypto LLC, send us an email, we'll start hosting with you guys. Or if you wanted to build out a farm, if you wanted to buy some Bitcoin miners, set up a farm, maybe you have a piece of property and you're thinking, what am I going to do with this thing? It's just sitting around, not doing much, or maybe it's just a farmland and you're already using it for farming, but you have some electricity there, you have 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 megawatts potential, and you already own the property, you just don't know what to do with it. So crypto is a great way to build out a farm on top of what you're already doing, which is, farming. So go to cryptollc.org for that. All right. So let me know what you guys want me to talk about here for this this farm. Let me take a look at chat. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see. Is that going to overlay? You guys see that? New chats will display here. Okay. I know in the previous live video had a whole bunch of questions. So if you guys want to throw in some here. Yeah. We just got one yeah from Hydex Holdings. But looking here. Yeah, and it really, for some reason, I have bad connection. I had disconnects for the previous video. Hopefully, it's not going to happen this time. But yeah, if you guys don't have any questions around the farm here. So I got all the gravel in, all of our pipes in here. We have our Ethernet pipe coming in. Then our parallel run, 400 amp connections there. So 2 panels, 400 amps each with the Ethernet connection. So each let me see, someone got some questions here. What about temps in the summer? So you mean like what type of temperatures do we get during the summer? Just ambient temperatures. So in this region here, for ambient temperatures, we get let's say average is like 80, during the day, 90 some days, and then we do get 100 degrees once in a while there. Some weeks, some pretty cold over here, and our summer is like 2 months at like 90, 100, and then like 2 months at 80s. And we have that farm at 1.75 megawatt farm where we did run for multiple years at those temps, and they run just fine. So we have intake coming in, even when it was 100 degrees outside, we were still able to run the farm. The farm ran just fine. The miners are running obviously a lot warmer, but it was not catastrophic. It wasn't like the miners were shutting down because they were overheating. The miners are running just fine. So in terms of summertime, it's fine. I'll get like the absolute maximum for an S19 J Pro, and probably like most ASIC miners. The maximum temperatures before they will shut themselves down is going to be like probably 105, 110 Fahrenheit. That's probably the maximum, and then they will shut down. Yeah. Yeah, so what other questions you guys got? Show you guys a transformer. There's a 2.2 megawatt transformer, ready to go. We bought it from Maddox. So it's an interesting little transformer. It's not 3, and it's not 2. It's 2.2, which is very interesting that they made it 2.2. I wonder what applications you actually need a 2.2 transformer, but whatever, works for this site. We got a 2.2. We got authorized industrial rate at 2.2 megawatts. So everything's perfect, ready to go. Oh, by the way, these 2 pipes here, this is our Comcast connection. So Comcast is coming from the pole to this pipe, and then we ran another pipe right here to that container over there. And why they do that is because if you're pulling from the pole all the way over here, it's kind of hard to pull from the pole all the way to the container. It's easier to pull from the poles here and then have another connection and then pull from this second pipe to that container. So that just makes it easier. That's why they did that. $118 degrees in the summer. I wonder if I can mine with a good airflow. Okay, so this depends on your miner. Some miners, they can handle hotter temperatures because either they have less chips on the board, they have less powerful chips on the board, you're running at a lower frequency, various other scenarios. So if you're running like stock Bitmain ASIC firmware on an S19, then you will it will overheat. There's no way it's going to run at 118. Even if you put it with absolute maximum airflow, it will just overheat at 118. That's too hot. Now, if you're running like an S9 with good airflow, like a really old ASIC miner, it probably would handle that. The best way to actually go in that scenario is what you can do is you can put on a you can get like the Bitmain's low power mode firmware for the S19, and that'll allow you to run it at about 25% slower at a lower frequency, which means they have more room in terms of heat. The miner can handle more heat because the miner is not running at maximum speed. Now that firmware is free from Bitmain, so you can get it from Bitmain. The other thing you can do is you can get firmware from like HiveOS or BrainsOS or asic.to and so on. Those firmwares, they take a fee, but they have a built-in special monitor that will downscale your miner if it's overheating. So once you get to like 105, 110, 120, your miner is supposed to be overheating, right? But your firmware will actually downclock it. It'll turn down the frequency. It'll provide less power to the miner. The miner will restart itself, run at a lower frequency, and then overcome the heat. So that way you can mine at 118. You can even mine it when it's like 150 outside. You can still mine on it. You just be really, really, really downclocked a lot on that miner. It's just basically kind of the same way GPUs work. If you can give your GPU less power, when you're mining at home, you give your GPU less power, and then that GPU is obviously producing less coin, but it is running, even if it's like 120, 150 outside. So that's what you can do there. Okay, next question is, what type of polyester filter do you use? It's just generic polyester filter. It's really doesn't really matter. We just buy it off a website, industrial website that sells polyester filters. Just get one that's like a half-inch thickness. Really meshed a lot. It's got a lot of mesh. Just take a look at the picture before you buy it, and make sure it's like half an inch. Doesn't really matter. It's not like we buy a special type of polyester filter. No, you just need it to stop the bugs, to stop the dust. And that's it. You don't really need it for anything else. That's what it's for. By the way, we also place tarp next to our polyester filters is because we want to stop really, really high winds, and we want to stop a lot of rain and snow, things like that. We don't want it to go like right into the container. We don't want the rain to go in there or the snow. So we have not only have polyester filter 4 feet away from the container, but we also have a tarp that protects from that, because obviously the polyester filter is not going to be able to handle huge amounts of rain or snow, or like sometimes you might have like a storm in the area where it's really raining hard, a lot of wind, and you don't want that to have an impact on your filter. You don't want your filter to rip. You don't want your filter to fly off, or whatever. So you put a tarp there, and we've been doing that for years now. It works great. It actually works perfect. When it was snowing outside, the tarp was stopping all the snow. When it's windy and raining, the tarp is stopping all the rain. It's hitting the tarp first, then just sliding down the tarp, and then behind the tarp, 2 feet behind the tarp, you have the filter. The filter's perfectly dry, so it's a great setup. You can do that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, Ace, what's your opinion on running AC HVAC unit with the miners? Okay, so that's a waste of energy. That's just going to increase your electricity usage per miner. So if you're running HVAC, what I would do is I would concentrate not on cooling off the miners. I would concentrate on airflow. Like if you think your miners are overheating because they don't get AC, right? That's not the reason they're overheating. They're overheating because you're not getting airflow. You should be looking at airflow. Again, we ran our miners at 100 degrees. It's 100 degrees outside, even 103, 104, and they ran fine, right? They're hot, right? They're not turning off because they're not overheating. The hash boards are not overheating. They're a lot warmer, obviously. Their hash boards are running at like 85, which is pretty hot, but it's not the maximum. The maximum is 95. So you could run it like that. I mean, it's obviously it's not great to be in an area where you always get 120 degrees every single day for months and months and months. But if it goes up to 105, once a week for a couple of hours, it's not going to have any real impact on your miner. Your miner should be fine. So look at airflow, not HVAC. Another question here. We got ours on solar. We have good airflow in our warehouse. Okay. Well, on solar, it makes it free for you. Well, and obviously you need to get your ROI on those solar panels. Um, so you want to run your HVAC on the solar? I mean, if you have good airflow, then why would you need HVAC? Yeah, you don't need HVAC if you have good airflow. Unless you're in a state like Arizona and you're getting like 120 degrees every single day, then you do not need HVAC. You should just concentrate on airflow. Like I said, like you said, you have good airflow, so there shouldn't be a problem. You don't need HVAC. All right. Yeah. All right. Throw in some more questions, guys. I'm here. Once the questions stop, I'm just going to end the stream because I got to go. Throw in some nice questions, some interesting ones, maybe about panels, maybe about gravel or placement of pipes, or how what we would recommend for ASICs. What type of ASIC maybe? What's miner or Bitmain or GPU mining or whatever? Throw in some questions. You guys doing that? I'm just going to look around or show you guys some more shots. The containers, again, we're just waiting for a client wants to jump in here, load up these 2.2 megawatts. As soon as we have that, then we're gonna have a lot more fun videos, because then I actually have panels finished up. I can show you more videos on that. We're gonna have this whole thing, the whole rear rebar installed. So we're gonna have more videos on that, and then we're gonna place in our shelves. So more videos on that. So a lot more videos coming up. Make sure you guys are subscribed. All right. Let me go over to this one other container we have here. So this one container, we use it for storage. I'll show you guys this one here. It's just going to be used to store, stuff we don't really need right now. It's going to be this yellow container here. So this one's for storage. So we don't use it, and we're not going to use it really for anything. We're just going to place some of our extra fans, maybe some extra power supplies, maybe some wires, some copper, stuff like that. So it's kind of like one of those outside storage areas you can rent. It's kind of like that, except it's just a little container, 20-foot container for storage. All right, let's see what else we got here. All right, Ahmed, got a question. Your opinion on Ivy Link miner K3 specifically. Okay, this I do not know. Have not looked into the K3 miner. We just basically, run with Bitcoin miners. We don't really run any other miner. And the reason for that is because those miners are really expensive. Well, I don't know about the K3, but I did see other altcoin miners that are running at like $10,000 a piece, and we don't have any experience with them, and it's a lot harder to come up and show this to someone that wants to buy the asset. Let's say we have a client that wants to buy ASIC miners. It's a lot harder for us to say, hey, buy a K3. He doesn't know what that is. He knows what Bitcoin is. He doesn't know what K3 is. He doesn't know what that altcoin is. It's going to be hard to tell him, hey, you should be mining, what are they, Zcash, buy Zcash miners, the altcoin crypto miner. Buy that. It's going to be a lot harder than just doing a Bitcoin. So I do not know. And then here's another one from Team SGD. We're located in Pennsylvania in the mountains. We had a solar farm of 200 panels to power our warehouse. We already ROI on everything. When BPT is all time high, and what coin do you recommend? Okay, so that's interesting in Pennsylvania, huh? You have a lot. Does you have a lot of sunlight there in Pennsylvania? I mean, how are the panels? Are they? Is that the best place to place them, or how? Oh, actually, you know what? Here's a question for it. For 200 panels, what's your KVA you're getting off those panels? Were you getting like 100,000 watts or a million? You getting like a megawatt off of those? And then for what coin do you recommend? So, okay, so for the coins, I would say that, obviously Bitcoin is the one that's a safe one to go with. But if you're looking to gamble on things, you wanted to gamble and go with like, I don't even know, like Ethereum or something like that, or Bitcoin Cash, you know, because basically if Bitcoin goes up, like let's say 3x, right? Bitcoin goes from 20 to 60, right? Or even 2x from 20 to 40, then most likely the altcoins are not going to 2x, right? If Bitcoin 2x is, the altcoins might 3, 4, 5x. So Bitcoin Cash can go from like 100, whatever it is. I don't remember what it is, 150, 100, something like that. Bitcoin Cash can go from 100 to 600. So that'd be 6x. And Bitcoin will go from 20 to 40, which is 2x. So you can take that risk and be like, you know what, I'm just going to buy Bitcoin Cash because I think it'll go 6x rather than Bitcoin going 2x. I don't know what to recommend to you. Just kind of research it, see which coin has good principles behind it. You know, Stuff like that. Like Ethereum. I'll give you an example. So for Ethereum, remember how Ethereum turned back the block coin uh what's it called, blockchain. They turned it back because someone stole some Ethereum. So as soon as Ethereum did that, as soon as Ethereum went back in time and reversed transaction, then that puts Ethereum into the category of a joke coin. Okay, it's a garbage coin. Because if you're going to go back in time and change things because you got robbed, you know that automatically just eliminates Ethereum from my long-term strategy on anything. Basically, Ethereum becomes worthless. It's worthless garbage. On Bitcoin, people got robbed a lot. On Bitcoin, people got Bitcoin stolen from them, and they got whatever happened to their coins. They lost their wallet. No one went to the Bitcoin blockchain and reversed it. You lost Bitcoin. Too bad for you. So that makes Bitcoin a lot more attractive. And other altcoins, if they are able to reverse their transactions, that makes them a joke as well. Okay, Iblink K3 miners really good. We got a few of them. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably look into it. It's interesting. I have no idea what that miner mines. I did hear about a K3 miner. Um, didn't really look into it. But yeah, I mean, if you want to risk, you want to take that risk and jump in and buy the miner, and maybe it'll ROI itself in a year or something like that. Great, you know. But I have no idea. What are your power outlet setup? Wire gauge amps. I see other people using the 30 amp locking style outlets, yours yours look like normal outlets. Okay, so we're for this setup here, we're using the what's it called? What, I think it's a 50 amp. Yeah, 50 amp PSU. So we're using a 50 amp PSU 415. So each leg is 240. And we're breeding to a 6/0 for each leg. So that's what we're running for our setup here. For our very, very first farm, the 1.75 megawatt farm, we're still operational right now. Go to our channel. You can watch videos from it from that site. That one is running just 240, a three-phase 240 transformer, and we built it out with just outlets. So each outlet is just 20 amps. We didn't use any PDUs in there. We just use outlets. So sometimes, our clients want to do things like that. A lot of times it just depends on what our client wants to do. And in that mining facility, the client wanted to run everything just 20 amp 240. Did not want to go for PDUs. We got almost 4 megawatts of solar, and we cleared almost all of the trees to get the most power. But yes, it's very cloudy in our area. Okay, so here's the thing about the solar. So you got 4 megawatts. What happened during the nighttime? You know, night comes around, not even nighttime, more like evening. I mean, how much percentage of solar are you losing? So if you're getting 4 megawatts, is that peak demand? Is that like 3 p.m., 4 megawatts? Are you getting 4 megawatts at 8 p.m.? How much are you getting at like 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 6 a.m., 3 a.m.? You know, because that's also very interesting because, you know, we were also looking into solar, but because of the whole entire we're going to be not be able to mine during the daytime. I mean, during the nighttime because there's no power unless you put it on batteries. And then also that's another question is how long do the batteries last? Because if we're drawing 5 megawatts of power during the nighttime, I mean, how fast are we going to kill those batteries? So all of those are kind of makes it made it a no go for us in terms of solar. But interesting what you got to say. So let me know, Team SGD, about that. Okay, we mine Zcash. KDA, BTC as of now. Yeah, Zcash. You had those ZEC miners. I think that's what it is, Zcash, right? ZEC miners. Those little ones. I remember Bitmain released little ones. Um, ZEC Mini, I think they were called. And then they switched over to the more powerful ones. Yeah, I used to have those as well. They were interesting miners. We get 4 megawatts with batteries full. It can recharge all the batteries once the sun comes out within about 5 hours. Okay, but will the batteries all die? So here's a question: like, will the batteries all die? So let's say you're mining, your batteries are fully charged because it's daytime, and then at 8 p.m. it's nighttime, it's dark outside, or even 6 p.m. during the winter time, it's dark at 6 p.m. So how fast until those batteries are dead? You know, how fast will you kill them if you're running 4 megawatts of AC that panel? I mean, on that solar panel on those batteries. All right, let me know. Very interesting. Never ran solar panels. Always looked at it as too risky, and also the fact that you can go and get, you know, electricity at like, if you find like a really really good state, good city, good power company, you can get electricity at like 4.5, you know, 5, 4.5, 5. That's already a lot cheaper. And then your infrastructure investment in terms of panels is a lot cheaper. You're not buying panels, right? You're buying 0 panels. You're just buying a transformer, connecting it to the power grid. Yep. All right. Throw you guys' questions in there. All right. Batteries got to roughly 45% on average. The panels are able to do 5 to 6 megawatts. We get an entire building full of batteries on racks. Okay. So if you ran it during, so confirm this if you can in the chat. So you're running the panels. I mean, you're running 4 megawatts, right? During the whole night time and evening time. So from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. it's dark, right? Let's say it's winter time. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. it's dark. 12 hours of nighttime. You're running 4 megawatts nonstop. Is that where you get to 47% on the batteries? That's question number one. And then question number two is, to get that many batteries to handle 4 megawatts and only lose 47% of their, or basically lose 50% of the charge, how much do those batteries cost? All right, that's question number two. And then I think I'm going to go after those questions here. Stream's already 30 minutes. So I'll probably stream you guys that went bad, a couple of them. So I'll be showing you guys around those hash boards. Also ask questions in the chat, chips, things, the pickles processor, resistors, how the hash board works, sisters, various problems with hash boards. So if you guys look at the channel, you guys share, subscribe to the channel, like the video, because I'll be posting that here in a couple of days. Like the yes. Okay. Hopefully you guys are still online. Yeah, I'm getting more connection issue errors here. Okay. The batteries are almost 30K each with the ones we use, but if you're less than 2 megawatts, you can get away with 470K in batteries and roughly 3.7. Damn. Dang, that's expensive. Okay, so 30,000. Okay. Less than 2 megawatts, you can get away with 470 in batteries. So basically, if you have 4 megawatts, you need $1 million in batteries and 3.7 in panels. Is that for two megawatts or 4 megawatts? So how much would you need for 4 megawatts? Do you need 8 million in panels and 1 million in batteries? Let me know their team SGD for 4 megawatts. How much is it? Wish I could go in there, but I get really bad connection as soon as I go inside these containers. It's to really kill the mobile signal on the phone. So to look from far away. Can't show you the panels either. All right. Numbers I gave you. Okay, here's a question. The numbers I gave you are for 2 megawatts, but you can get it cheaper in bulk depending on where you buy. So it would be 2x that price. Damn. Okay, so for 2 megawatts, those numbers you just gave me is for 2. Damn. So you need a lot of money to build out 2 megawatts. So here's the thing about solar panels. Um, one is how long do those batteries last? You know, like if you buy them, if you invest that much money in batteries, okay, this year they're recharging just fine. You know, next year they're what? How much of the charge are they losing? You know, and then 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I mean, in 5 years, if you're using them every single day, right? Night comes around every single day, and you're using them every single day. How long until those batteries are all dead? You know, how long until the batteries are only keeping 50% of the charge, or 40 or 30% of the charge, and then you don't have enough capacity there. You know, that's also a question there, and then also the amount of investment required. So for you to recoup that investment, if you spend like 4, 5, 6, $8 million on panels and batteries, right? Um, I'm just looking at it from like in terms of investment, right? In terms of assets, how long would it take you to recoup that? You know, if you were paying, 5 cents for electricity, and you got 30 megawatts of mining, and you were mining Bitcoin, how long would it take for you to actually recoup that? You know what I mean? Or in this case, we're talking about just 2 megawatts. So how long would that take? That's one of the things about panels. Like panels are cool, and I would, be interested in them if they were a lot cheaper, like 10 times cheaper, and the batteries lasted for like a decade. Then it's like, okay, you buy the panels, they last forever, they always produce power, and your batteries, they don't die, they last for a decade. So you have an initial investment, initial purchase, right? Upfront capital cost. But after that, it's just profit because you're not paying for electricity. But if your capital investment is so gigantic, it's going to take, forever. We ROI in 6 months. Okay. We ROI in six. Is that for 2 megawatts? Because like for every megawatt, if you're running at 6 cents, it's about $42,000 a month. So 42 for each megawatt. So you about 84. for 2 megawatts. So 84 times 6. Is that your total investment? Because if you ROI that in 6 months, then that'd be 42 times, 84 times 6. You know, yeah, it's interesting. I wish I got all the numbers for that, because it is something we look into and we're like, hey, maybe maybe this, but we never went for it because we always thought, it's probably going to be too much capital intensive and not much of an uplift. You go with panels, like, yeah, you can get your money back, but how long is that going to take? And so on. Anyway, hope you guys liked the video. Basically 36 minutes in here. Like the questions. Again, next video probably going to be talking about hash boards. Talking about hash boards, most likely. Going to be going over the S19 Pro and S19J, the differences. Answering questions, talking about the chips and the capacitors and resistors and the ASICs on there, all that other stuff. So make sure you guys are subscribed. You don't want to miss these videos. And again, we're hosting 2.2 megawatts at this farm, ready to go. You see the farm here. So if you want to host with us, go to cryptollc.org. We also sell ASICs. If you want to buy some ASICs, right now it's really, really good time to jump in because the ASIC prices are just rock bottom. You can get really, really cheap ASICs. You can also get used ones like S19 Pro, S19J. The S19 series is a very good quality series that we recommend to anyone. Like, we would buy used, for our farm. So that's what we would do. And that's what we recommend for anyone to do right now, because they are really solid miners. They're like the S9s. They do not break. They just run forever. They run and run and run. So we've been running the S19 Pros for a couple of years here, S19Js for a year. They rarely break. They run great. So if you want to buy some used ones or new ones, go to cryptollc.org. We also have the XPs for sale, the Hydros for sale. We have an Excel spreadsheet there you can click on and check out the prices. The prices are just really, really down. So, and it depends on the quantity as well. It depends on the quantity as well. So if you get like a bigger quantity, you can get them for cheaper. All right, well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys like it. And until next time.